Here we go. Again, sorry I don't have everything screwed up. Stupid doc. Anyway, so what we're going to do, there are 3 things we have to do. Please put your phone away, Jason. We need to do the winning and losing conditions, the winning and losing screens, and then sound effects and music. So you guys should have this, the win-lose check. We did this the day of the lockdown.
Yes.
Oh. So what you need to do, Chad, if you're not here, if you look into the student resources folder, you should have Pygame in class, and that's this. And then what you need to do is basically when you're not in class, you need to copy it down and make sure your code works.
Is that the only thing that you did?
I think from the lockdown drill, yeah. So again, what this is doing, this line of code is going through and double checking how long has the game been running. If the game has been running longer than 90,000 ticks, which is equivalent to how many milliseconds? Yes.
More than, wait, no, it's 90.
90 milliseconds?
900.
No.
9,000.
No.
9.
No. A tick is 1 millisecond. So 90,000 ticks is 90,000 milliseconds. And 90,000 milliseconds is how many seconds? 90, correct. So if the game is going for longer than 90 seconds, so is 90 seconds, then the code is going to stop, the loop is going to stop, and our exit code is going to be equal to 1. We're going to code if the exit code is 1, you win, otherwise you lose. We also need to check and see, and I'm going to have to jump between these, but this is if health value. Yeah. So if health value is less than 0, should it be less than or equal to 0?
Less than or equal to.
Less than or equal to, yep. Because you can't run around with 0 health, right? What we're going to do is we're going to go running is 0, because this again, this stops the while loop that runs the game. This is whether or not we've won the game. And then we're going to go exit code is 0. Does that make sense? Yeah. All right. So now the last thing we're going to do is we got to calculate the score or the accuracy. Because if you can make it to 90 seconds, whoever has the more accurate score wins. So we're going to go if ACC bracket 1 doesn't equal 0. So what this is saying is if you've shot at least once. Because otherwise when we shoot, right, every time we shoot, our accuracy 1 goes up 1. And then if we hit our bad guy, our accuracy 0 goes up 1. So accuracy or ACC 1 is when we click. So as long as we've clicked at least once, we're going to calculate the average. Or the accuracy. Oops. Oh, darn it. There we go. Scroll all the way down here. Okay. Now we're going to actually have accuracy be our variable. Oops. So accuracy 0 times 1.0 divided by accuracy 1 times 100. This calculates the percentage for accuracy. accuracy 0 times 1.0. Is that too small for you guys to see? All right, sorry about that. 25. There, is that better? All right. Otherwise, accuracy is 0. So if they never shoot, one, they'll never win, but their accuracy will be 0. Does that make sense? Do you guys have any questions on these lines of code here? Yes, Thorn.
You go to that comment, the lowest comment. Cool. Okay, cool. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. There you go. All right. Now we have 2 things left to do. Well, technically 3, but one is a copy and paste of other code, literally, that we've already done. So the next one is when we lose, what happens? Right? If our exit code equals, what is it? We start with 0. If exit code equals 0, this is what happens. This is when we win or lose.
Lose.
This is when we lose. We have to do all of this. Now, I ask you guys, I'm going to walk through this, and I'm just going to ask you guys to follow along. And then, if you would like, you can copy and paste this from the resources. But for now, I don't want to hear any clicking. I just want you guys to walk through, and I will, every step, walk you through this. So this pygame.font.init, you need this in order to initialize the ability to use font, which is a part of Pygame that allows you to actually build your own text and put it on screen. Just like we did with the timer, we're rendering this information. Okay. Again, font equals pygame.font.font. This is none, so this is just a basic font, and the size is 24. Some of this should look familiar. When did we do this earlier in the game? For the timer. Yep, so some of this should be familiar to you guys. Text is we're rendering the font. So what this is we are rendering all of this font in this information with none in size 24. We're calculating the accuracy, so we're making a string, which we've created up here. Does that make sense? We're adding %. I can't remember what true does. Sorry, but you need it. And then who remembers what this is, what these 3 numbers correspond to? Gabe?
Isn't that like the red, green, and blue?
Yep. RGB values. So what color is this going to be?
Red.
Red. It's going to be pure red, nothing else. And then we have our rectangle. We're getting a rectangle around the text. And then what we're doing, I think I went over this briefly. We are centering our rectangle. Well, I'll use red because that's what it's going to be. The center of our rectangle, text rec.centerx, that's going to be right here, right? Equals the center x of our screen. And then we're going to do the same thing, the y. So no matter how wide our screen is, our information is going to be, boom, right there. Right in the middle of the screen. And then we blit our image. Where do we blit our game over image? 0, 0. Where is that in our game?
Top down.
Top left, yep. So our image just so happens to be the exact size of our screen. So you don't need to move it at all. If you guys in your game make a bigger screen, right? So let's say you have 1,000 by 500 pixels. If you blit the image at 0, 0, what'll happen, it's actually kind of funny. It will, it'll cover like that. So you'll have all this area of your game still exposed. Jason.
There's no way to just have it fill the screen.
Oh, I believe so, but that's a pygame module or a pygame command that I think you need to fit you would mess with. It's easier just to resize it outside of pygame and use that. Or what you could do is you could center it in the middle just like we do here, so that it would be, so the center of your game over screen is in the center of here, and then same here. All this would be your game still, but at least it would look centered. So that's up to you. Again, the easiest is just to resize it to the size of screen that you want to use. And then blit game over, and then right here, we are blitting this, so text rect and text rex.center y, text rec center x and y. I blitz our text in the middle of the screen. Do you guys have any questions on this? This really is just kind of combination of stuff we've already done. Thornton.
What is screen1.getRect parentheses dot center x?
Why is it screen 1? What did I do? Hang on. I don't know, but that can just be screen.
So then what is it? Oh, I was talking about up in the variables. TextRect.centerX equals. So then what is that doing to the screen?
It's not doing anything. It's getting, basically get rect. Direct! This is essentially figuring out the center of the screen.
Okay.
Breaking it down. And then this one, this is actually adding 24 pixels, so it comes down just a little bit. So technically it's not going to be in the dead center of our screen. That's my bad. I didn't see that. Forgot that was there. So it scoots it down just a tidbit. Because so instead of it being directly in the center, which would make it right here in the middle of the text, it scoots it down 24, so it's right underneath our game over screen. And then our winning screen is this. And it's going to do the same thing. It's going to be down here. Do you guys have any questions on this code? None whatsoever. So if I asked Andrew what this line does, you think you'd be able to answer it? Just curious. I'm not necessarily asking you that question, Andrew.
Maybe not exactly, but I kind of get the gist.
Okay. Okay. Thorn.
Yeah, so what does that line you highlight?
This line, what it does is it creates a rectangle around our text.
Oh.
So we're creating, so if our text, since our text is going to be red and it's accuracy, so it's what it's doing is it's going and it's saying, okay, I don't have the best handwriting, but, or the best drawing capabilities, but it's basically creating a rectangle around here. And so what we then do with this is we're saying, okay, our rectangle around our text is text rect. And then we're saying that the center of our text rect, which would be here, is equivalent to the center of our screen. And then we do the same thing with the Y, except we scoot it down just a little bit by 24 pixels. And if it's going down the screen, why is it plus 24? Jason?
Because 0, 0 is in your top left.
So if 0, 0 is in my top left, we increase Y going that way and Y going that way. Increase X to the right, Y down. Okay. And then we just blit our image, our game over image at 0, 0, and then we have our screen. Or then we blit our text at text rect. Any questions now? All right, what I want you guys to do, I've saved this. You guys have access to it. You can copy and paste just that line, and then actually copy and paste it twice, because we're going to use the exact same code with 3 changes. So I'll pause the video. I wish I could just pause it. I don't think I can do that.